I've taken a lot of screenshots of you wishing for my death. Now you're in big, big trouble.
I'm gonna have some of the bottom section censored here. The reason for that is because that is the link to my brother's obituary. Yeah. You literally see him say, owner of ChibiReviews, we smoking on Eddie. That's my brother's name. Then we have a post like this where someone put a petition out to stone me to death. AKA, there was thousands of people that liked this post.
So a post went up on YouTube Drama questioning and querying this lawsuit fundraiser that ChibiReviews did. Since raising over 16k from fans, YouTuber ChibiReviews has provided no updates on his campaign in 7 months and is apparently blocking people who mention it. I mean, 7 months with no apparent updates. Seems insane. Chud doing anime community drama. I don't care about the anime community stuff. This is about someone potentially scamming their audience with a dodgy fundraiser. That's my interest in this. I don't care about the anime side of it, really. As funny as it could be to talk about that from time to time. The campaign was originally pinned on X, but was later removed. I reached out to said parties that were accused and threatened with said lawsuits. They have heard nothing. I also reached out to people who have donated themselves to the campaign. They have not received any notice, and some have been blocked for asking where the funds went. GiveSendGo is a platform where funds can be pulled whenever, even without reaching the goal. Thus, the legitimacy of this site has been called out for many years. So, this is the claim. Now, I think this is the video that is most related to this. So let's just load this up real quick. When it loads.
Take a look at what's...
Here we go, this is it here. I may have watched this already, I can't remember. But fuck it, we'll turn this into a new segment. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Fuck it. So let's have a look. Someone put a bounty on my head and only a lawsuit will stop this. And I'm assuming this is the relevant lawsuit here. Yep. Okay. Perfect. Perfection. Perfection. Yes, ChibiReviews has allegedly got no balls now. Correct. Correct.
It's on screen right now. Just look at that. These same people will say, I have no reason to do a lawsuit. They will say,
to the man who docks ChibiReviews, I'll cash up you 5k to this man, no bullshit. Okay. I mean, that's bad. You shouldn't do that, obviously. I disavow, of course, in the strongest possible terms, leaving these kind of tweets and leaving these kind of comments. But I mean, come on, dude. This is a classic, better off ignoring take than anything else. I mean, why are you giving this credence?
There is no evidence of doxing. They will say that I am trying to scam my viewers, my followers.
Also, what civil bait? I mean, you can file a lawsuit for everything, right? But what grounds do you have to file a lawsuit for this? Huh? Doesn't seem like you got much to go off, no?
To donating for a funding for this lawsuit. And these same people will straight up put a hit on my head and say, we need to get rid of this man. Even if this person said for legal reasons, 'tis a joke, he violated the rules. But not just Twitter rules. It's breaking the law. This is straight up breaking the law, what they did. When they put a hit out on me. Thankfully.
Is it? This was a thing previously with, what was it, Denims or something, I think, ages ago. A joke bounty. I don't know if this breaks the law, necessarily. But if it did break the law, surely you wouldn't file a civil suit. And you would go ahead and you'd take it to the fucking police or something like that, no?
Thankfully, Twitter has since suspended the account for obvious reasons, but I think there is a lot that needs to be talked about. Today, let's expose a few individuals that have been actively propagating hatred and harassment towards me and enabling stuff like this but also give some evidence to one individual that is somewhat responsible, maybe more than that, for everything that has happened. So, let's dive headfirst into it. First off, let's start small. Let's give evidence to the defamation.
Chibi, we have got an army of assassins. We've got a full-blown army of assassins. And we've managed to do is we've infiltrated them into your life in ways that are totally imperceptible to you. So you've got no idea where they are, who they are, where they're going to strike. Nothing whatsoever. You cannot figure that out. So maybe if you choose to go outside one day, you go down to your local anime store. Oh, you notice someone new behind the counter that's selling you fucking D-Gen manga comic jerk-off material. Or is it just a new employee? Or could it be one of our guys? You're just not going to know. They're waiting like coiled springs, ready to strike at any moment.
Campaign. This right here is just a little bit of post of the day I got suspended last week for Twitter. Now, this is definitely related to the whole situation with the defamation and doxing and all that because of just the legal damage and just the damage it's done to me as a person, my brand, my family. It's just done a lot. And even if all these individuals, you know, don't really know what they're doing, it showcases the overwhelming amount of people that genuinely believe that I'm basically the spawn of Hitler.
I mean, some of these are just nothing. Throw bricks at I thought ChibiReviews died. He only got suspended. What a I mean, I probably shouldn't read some of these out, to be fair, just to be on the safe side. But it's just such a loss to respond to all these people that are obviously just fucking with you. They obviously want to wind you up. They want to get under your skin. And it's obviously successful. They're obviously successful in the ways that they're fucking with you here. Because you're so bothered that you've made a collage of rape, of self-rape here.
Or Hitler himself, or a pedophile. That is legitimately what you see here with a lot of these screenshots. Actively happy that my platformer, I was deplatformed because of the online harassment that will just not leave me alone. So what I want to say here is this is just a small little glimpse into some of the stuff that I'm going to be showcasing. But yeah. All these people have been continuously enabling what has happened, for instance, with this. They're also individuals that continuously jump on in their little groups and try to downplay everything I do to make it seem like a joke to enable more harassment against me. I know who you are. I've taken a lot of screenshots, gaining a lot of evidence.
I've taken a lot of screenshots of you wishing for my death. Now you're in big, big trouble. My fucking lawyers are writing a lawsuit as we speak. The police have been informed. They're coming to your door. You're fucked. You're fucked. The anime community can finally rest. Twitter suspended him after people mass reported his latest I mean, yeah, some of these are just nothing. Complete nothing burgers.
And you best be worried. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, let's get into one individual that definitely I might have to add more information into. But this is CJ. He is obviously mocking my current ongoing crowdfunding. FYI, for those that aren't aware, about a day ago, about 24 hours ago, I opened up a GoFundMe basically for you know, my lawsuit. Here's the, you know, what it is. I cover exactly what happened.
Okay, so this is where it gets relevant to our interests here, even though I think I've covered this before. So we're now 10th of September 2025, multiple months forward. And there's been no meaningful updates recently. Apparently, the people he was talking about filing lawsuits against haven't anything filed against them. So he's raised all this money, and yet nothing seems to have come from it. I mean, I would have said that it's a foolhardy, stupid, pointless decision to file a lawsuit in the first place, because none of this seems like it's likely to go anywhere. But beyond that, well, if you are thinking about filing a lawsuit, where's the update? Where, you know, people that have supported this, where's their update to know what's going on? Like, he does give a response, which we'll look at after this, obviously, but from where I'm sitting, it looks like you're pulling a Keffels, I must say. I'm getting some Keffels vibes from this on a lower level. Claiming you're going to file a lawsuit and then nothing coming of it, seemingly. Well, surely this should be fairly trivial for you to show us where the money is, what account it's in, what's happened so far, what's been filed. Where is any of this info or this insight?
Needs to be raised and all that, you know, and we've already raised over 5,000. Thank you literally for everyone that has donated to this cause. There is so many people that have helped, and I greatly appreciate it. I was only able to do something like this thanks to Legal Mindset. He's the one that helped me out, by the way, to set this stuff up. You know, he's been very supportive. He gave me a lot of information.
Legal dick sucker is apparently involved. Oh, he's roping him into this now, isn't he? Uh-oh.
He was very transparent about what I needed to do, and I appreciate him. This is a really good man, and I thank you a lot. I send you a lot of love.
I mean, look, I'll be completely fair here. It doesn't sound like Legal Mindset is particularly involved in this. It sounds like he just gave him some pointers about how to set up the GoFundMe. Or the GiveSendGo, whatever the fuck it's called. And that, I think, is the substance of this. Like, I don't think there's anything, you know, more than that. But he's, like, almost trying to rope him in, you know, to... I don't know, like he's trying to do a nice thing, but oh, thanks to Legal Mindset, but now he's sort of somewhat involved in this, potentially, if it goes south, and it turns out he's just scammed a bunch of his fucking viewers. Oof.
I appreciate you trying to help me out. But getting back into CJ. This man, every twist and turn, he's always a part of the group that actively enables harassment and, you know, interacts with people that are even responsible for the doxing. Don't believe me? Let's get some evidence. So, I came back when my Twitter got unsuspended, and I saw this man contacting at Namek, as you could see here. You might not know who this is. I'll give some information and some...
And they're trying to kill me and ruin my entire family. I need help.
More to that in just a second. But he basically started adding an individual that is very important to this whole situation, and laughing at me, basically saying my family is in danger, my life is getting ruined, all that, you know, stuff, basically. And also...
Yes, because it's very laughable for you to make these claims about what? Some fucking shitters on the internet posting tweets about you. I mean, it's so stupid, dude. It's so fucking stupid, bro. Like, yes, it's very laughable, and people are going to laugh at you for this because it's stupid and you look like an idiot.
Helping that group to find out and harass me even more in my YouTube comment section. And so, as you can see here, he deleted this. He actually deleted this post. You're probably wondering why. Well, I called him out for it. I straight up called him out for it. You can see me. I messaged him right here. I was like, this man is actively supporting and talking with the person that is responsible for getting me doxxed months ago.
Oh, no.
I know what you are, because they put illegal content on my deviant art. I've censored this picture for obvious reasons, but yeah, this is an individual that is the doxer, you know, straight up connected with Namek, that the person I'm going to be talking about. But that post that, you know, I quote retweeted, as you can see, it has been since deleted. I'll open it up. Post is deleted. CJ likes to hide when there's some very incriminating evidence, very apparent. It makes sense, I mean, especially when a lawsuit is being built. But for some reason, you keep wanting to dip your hand in the cookie jar, and you keep wanting to clout farm off my name when it's very clear you're on the bad side. Now, let's get into Namek. Since we're on that topic, that's the big one.
So the thing is, I mean, it's funny that he's fucking freaking out like this, but, you know, talking shit and talking about people... that are like coming at you on Twitter, it's whatever, really. It's obviously the lawsuit thing that's at issue. And if you look here as well, look. Bro scamming his followers to sue a random Twitter users, I'm crying. I mean, has this not come to pass? Where's the update, Chibi? Chibi! Where's the lawsuit, bro? Have you even paid a lawyer yet? Where's the money? Where did the money go?
This individual, Namek, that I'm going to be talking about, he is quite a fascinating one. This man has went above and beyond to incriminate himself in every single turn of what has happened to me. I'm going to have some of the bottom section censored here. The reason for that is because that is the link to my brother's obituary. Yeah. It's not just the fact that he says owner of ChibiReviews.
That is, oh, what a terrible... Oh. What a terrible thing to do. I don't believe it. What an awful, terrible, awful. Dude, I can't believe he's done it. Okay, what is this? Oh, yeah, I know. Basically, he used to have his home address in his YouTube thing. Yes, I know about that. But yes, apparently he used to have his full uncensored address in his YouTube, you know, description. So that people could send him little gifts, nice little gifts and whatnot, apparently.
But it goes much deeper than this. He put my brother's obituary in his bio. He has made numerous posts basically showcasing what he has done, that he has doxed my brother's grave and stuff.
Lamau, I'm not a P word. I leaked Chibi in his brother's grave because he likes those 4chan are weird. Right. I mean, again, you know, I now I'm very self-conscious about saying, why would you put this on the internet, because you pointed out. But again, why are you meaningfully engaging with these tweets? I guess it's an archive, so maybe it ended up getting more views. But you are literally banging your head against a brick wall by giving this attention. And you're far better placed to just ignore and disregard this sort of material that's posted about you. There's no benefit and no value that you're going to gain by meaningfully engaging with people that are posting this sort of shit about you. It's just completely worthless.
He is an individual that is scared now of legal action, that he needs to get a lawyer to. He made this post literally a week ago. He also, if you take a look here, that since this is Ghost Archives, you look on the right here, you can literally see what he has in his bio here. That's no longer there. You literally see him say, owner of ChibiReviews, we smoking on Eddie. That's my brother's name.
That's terrible. What dude, what a terrible person. God, I think this is a real bad egg we're dealing with here. This guy needs to be kept an eye on. He seems a bit psychotic.
That's my brother.
Dude.
And then he's like, res your mans. Obviously, it's very apparent what he's doing there. Slide for Eddie. This individual, I have reported, by the way, many times to Twitter. They've done nothing. But I guess it's better that he's not.
Well, the problem is, this is so abstract. I mean, you know, I don't know if he's leaked stuff on Twitter that maybe is bannable, but, I mean, this is very abstract, isn't it? I mean, Eddie could be any... I mean, obviously, yes, it's very... I'm certain is a reference to his brother. But Twitter aren't going to necessarily know that. Literally just giving the trolls the notoriety they want. Yes, exactly. This is what I was saying earlier when you yelled at me. You were just annoying me, basically, Stylo, but it's all good. I know exactly where you're coming from. I get it. I do get it.
Not gone, for obvious reasons. Lawsuit. But what I'm trying to say is that there is a lot of evidence against this man that he has actively went after me. Now, how is he affiliated with the doxing thread? Well, let's get into that. Let's show that evidence. So right here, this is a video I made when the doxing happened back in October. I made a video covering the people that were responsible for giving my information to my brother's grave, to my family, everything like that. And you can see him self-incriminate himself literally in the forum that was actively going after me at the 1 minute 14 second mark. He incriminates himself, and the person on screen is literally Namek. And then you can see here, I actually have to lawyer up now. He showed my Twitter in his latest video. See ya chuds later, wish me the best. Clearly not a smart individual. That's all I'm going to say. Not a very smart individual whatsoever. And I want to be honest with you. It's not about getting money back or anything like that. Even though you actually have harmed me in other ways too, actually. You know, let's showcase that. This post right here...
He's got such an unfortunate voice as well. Oh, you've actually harmed me in other ways too. It's so unfortunate that this is what his voice sounds like too. Very difficult voice. Very difficult voice.
Is me losing a sponsorship. I lost a sponsorship back in October because of the whole situation with the doxing. Because of how heated it got and just everything that happened, I lost a sponsorship. Sponsorships, actually.
Well, I don't think that any sponsor would necessarily cut you off just for you having been doxed. My assumption is that you made content about having been doxed, and this is probably what put the sponsor off, I would assume. Because I just can't imagine a sponsor is like, oh, you got doxed, you're raped, we don't want to be anywhere near that. It's far more likely to me, it was more so like, oh, you're making some pretty rough content about having been doxed. I don't think we can be anywhere near that right now.
I lost my profile picture. I don't want to do this to an individual, but you know why my profile picture changed? It's because the person that made my profile picture, my previous one, didn't want to be associated with me anymore because of all this stuff that was going down. So it's not the fact that my brand image was taken away from me, but I lost sponsorships.
Tough situation.
More evidence to a defamation case. Now, let's get into the next stuff. People like to say the doxing did not happen.
Okay, so he's going to file a defamation. What? Defamation apparently is what he's got him on. I do. Defamation suits are so fucking expensive, dude. Like, this is the thing these people don't understand. You probably need at least $100,000 to file a defamation suit in the US. And he thinks he can do it with his little fucking 25k. Ridiculous.
People like to say that there was nothing put on my account. Well, I have evidence for that as well. This right here is from the forums that was actively disclosing my information. They nuked the entire thread. This is the post that literally made it. Hello, I killed this thread about ChibiReviews due to it having very bad information and being hijacked by malicious groups. I know little about Chibi himself. You know, regardless of situation, I appreciate the transparency and honesty here, even obviously though it's led to a lot of problems for me. I do admit, even if it is a good deed sometimes, a small good deed, that the thread was nuked. Shoutouts to that. I will give positivity to that. Because obviously they straight up admit that everything that was going on against me was basically straight up a lie. So, yeah. Just gonna say right now. They say I rarely delete anything from here, but we had no solid evidence of him having real... You can see the word. I can't read it out for a YouTube video. It says it right here. Also, please read the rules again.
No, he can't read it out because he's going to get bricked up thinking about it. That's why.
Where it says what you should not do. Launch a raid because of a whisper on the wind / rumor of an allegation. Now, that means that whoever whispered them, we know who it is. I've already shown him in the video. It's very apparent. Now, here is the evidence that my deviant...
Oh, dude, I remember this, the gem. Dude, the gem meme. The gem meme. How does any of this constitute a lawsuit, then? Bear in mind, this is his big video that he's doing to farm donations for a fucking lawsuit he's apparently going to file.
Art account was hijacked and illegal content was put into it. They literally admit themselves they hacked into it, and there was nothing interesting though, and they started editing his bio as a gem. To give some disclosure here, basically they post my passwords here on the forum. Someone got onto the forum, hacked into the account, and started posting illegal content. And that's what led to the account, which is still currently suspended. It's gone. But, yes, they have actively went into my account, and now there's people that have tried to backtrack and say, you know, they...
Yeah, so this relates to apparent stuff that was posted on an account of his. He claims it was hacked. It's contested. That's about all I know about it. But, I mean, obviously, you know... What a great excuse if I was hacked. It's the classic, isn't it? It was
like there was always there, but there's evidence to showcase they hacked into it, and yeah. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that people like to say I'm lying. People like to say I have no evidence to back up my claims, and I've been very transparent about everything. So I guess let's talk about this. I made this because of the actual advice, the legal advice.
Dude. Okay. Oh, dude. Honestly, we need to finish this first just to get the full context for his expert. We need to look at this. We need to look at the GoFundMe, the GiveSendGo explanation. His response to this is brilliant. I just skimmed through it, and I already am seeing multiple gems throughout his response.
From Legal Mindset. A very good man. I talked about him at the beginning of this video, but it was thanks to him why I even decided to set this up, because honestly, I had a lot of pride and ego in me to really not ask for money, and like, I'll talk about that in a second, but basically, thanks to him, I set this up, thanks to his counsel, and I did some research into it, and apparently, like, GoFundMe can easily be reported down from some malicious groups. I think it happened...
I've heard about this thing for Vanessa. I'll probably cover it tomorrow. That'll be good fodder for tomorrow's stream. So I've not looked at it yet, but I'll more than likely be looking at it tomorrow. Sounds like an allegation, most foul. So we'll have a look.
Smash as well relatively recently with his current defamation case with the doxing and stuff. So it makes a lot of sense. And I think now he is on GiveSendGo.
That should hopefully be a nice, easy Anissa hate segment to capitalize on some of the fucking Kino fans.
Oh, too.
Yes.
So the point I'm trying to make is the reason why it's on this instead of, let's say, GoFundMe is because this is definitely safer for it's not, taken down. But on top of that as well, apparently from what I found out from Legal Mindset, this is what he told me. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't say. But he told me that you can't actually use donation funds for lawsuits if it's from, like, Ko-fi or whatever. I can't pronounce it. And different stuff like that. So that is why I didn't go through that as well. Because you can't actually use those donation funds for it. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just going from his counsel. So...
His counsel? Oh my god, dude. His counsel. He's not your counsel, bro. He's another internet fucking YouTuber giving you advice. That's it. He's not your fucking counsel, bro.
What I'm saying is the reason why I did this is because I can use the funds for a lawsuit. Now, with that basis being said, let's talk about this. So,
here we go.
As you can see
lawsuit
here,
combo. Let's
already
go.
over 5,000 has been donated to this lawsuit. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't expect it to even come this far. I'm going to be blunt. I know a lot of you guys love me and all that, but I just, like, seeing the overwhelming support, it means so much to me, more than anything, honestly, and it'll help me get some of these individuals that are responsible, but, actually get criminal charges against them because of everything that's happened.
So you think fundraising to file a civil lawsuit is then going to somehow bring about criminal charges? It's a civil suit. If you want criminal charges, you need to go to the fucking police, bro. What you on about, dude? You're talking absolute fucking nonsense. I thought you got advice from Legal Mindset on this.
They like to think they can hide behind an anonymous profile, but it's very easy for information to be gathered, especially when the FBI is involved. So,
I'm filing a civil suit and the FBI are going to find the information. Dude, you're on a hiding to nothing. It is famously difficult unless you subpoena Twitter for their information. It's notorious, which is highly unlikely to happen. On the basis of what have they done that would bring about a civil suit? It doesn't make any fucking sense. And you would have to pay money to get a fucking law firm just to subpoena the information in the first place before you can even begin to think about suing these people. It's such a, and also that has to be approved. Twitter would have to agree to it. Like, dude, it's like such an uphill battle. It is what makes it so fucking worthless.
What I'm trying to say is that in general, I made this GoFundMe, or this GiveSendGo donation, because I actually need help. It is a lot of money for a lawyer. I'm just gonna be blunt with you. I've done a lot of research into this, and the normal defamation case...
25k for this sort of case will not touch the sides. That'll be gone. That'll be hoovered up. You need like $100,000 to even begin to think about doing something like this. And also, I don't know what his financial situation is, but it is like you not funding it yourself in some fashion, totally off the table. Like, why is it you need a complete support from your fucking viewership to do this? Like a 486k sub YouTuber. Surely you got some money knocking about, no?
Case and stuff like this with all the different stuff that I'm going to have to do. It's going to cost about $15,000 to $25,000. That's...
Okay, dude.
That's so much money. That is so much money. And I'm going to be honest, I don't have that money. I have went out of my way to try to sell stuff as well, but nowhere is going to be able to cover this cost. It's not.
What's he trying to sell?
It's just it's a lot. It is. I have been told that I could get hopefully I pronounce it right, a plaintiff lawyer. Forgive me if I say it wrong, but apparently there is a lawyer I can get that basically will only ask for funds if I win, and I'm very certain I'm going to win. I have no doubt in my mind, like, at all. Like, I am 100% certain I'm going to win this case.
Oh, is that why he had his bollocks chopped off? He needed to sell his bollocks. He needed to sell his fucking bollocks on the black market in order to fund his lawsuit. It was his only option. That's the true reason that he had to get him taken off.
Just too much evidence I have right now to really say that it's just going to be a straight L and a loss. But what I will say is, it's just, I I'm gonna be honest, the lawsuit would drive me into bankruptcy if I was to just do it all on my own.
He turned himself into a eunuch for a high-paying fucking degenerate. He offered himself up as a eunuch in order to fund this lawsuit. I'm telling you, that's what's happened here.
I'm gonna be blunt. It would drive me into bankruptcy, and I would have nothing. I mean, at the end of the day, it might be worth it, but I do have a fiance, someone I love, and someone that I'm trying to, make a family with. So that's another reason on top of that. Going into bankruptcy, if I was by myself, I would probably do it. Probably would. But I'm not alone, so I can't do that to my fiance. That's not good. It would not be good to definitely start a marriage off with. So what I'm trying to say is that any support that you guys send here helps. I have been, and my family has been, the target of harassment for months upon months, and it is unending. I've tried to ignore it. I've tried to just block. I've tried to move on. I've tried not to talk about it, but it keeps happening. And then the same individuals that...
Yeah, guess what, bro? You're a public figure, and you've got very you've got very controversial views about certain anime topics. Let's put it that way. You are always going to experience this. You are always going to get this. You cannot get around it. You need to get used to it as the background noise of your fucking existence. It's never going to stop. Especially when I flood your Twitter replies with my my bots. That's a joke, by the way. No, it's a joke. That's a joke. But yeah, obviously, it's just a part of existence on the internet. Running a big anime channel with controversial views about certain anime topics that you are just going to have to put up with this and deal with this forever. And you can do things to protect yourself from a lot of this and protect yourself from a lot of the comments and stuff. But like, you have to take some action to do that, Also, this MF needs to save money. How the hell do you have that many subs and you don't have 50k in the bank over the course of a few years? He doesn't go outside. He just sits around watching kids' cartoons. What's he spending his cash on? Guna materials, body pillows and stuff. Yeah, I'm assuming.
That keep harassing me like to say, or people that fence sit like to say, Chibi, if you didn't post bait post, if you didn't post, things that are just talking about manga and anime, you wouldn't get harassed. You wouldn't have gotten doxxed. That's what these people try to use to justify everything that's happened. It's crazy, man. It's actually crazy. I know I'm not the best person in the world. I am very well aware of that. I'm willing to admit that.
Underselling it a bit.
But holy crap. Trying to justify doxing and harassment, not just to me, but to my family and the desecration of my brother's grave. Because I
mean, realistically, he's shown a few examples of shitty comments and stuff. I don't think he's really shown much evidence of people trying to justify it and stuff like that, I'm sure it's happening, but he's not really shown us much. He's shown us a few snippets.
Post cringe post on Twitter? You lost the plot. So I'm making this to basically just talk about the whole situation, get the GiveSendGo out there, and if you guys do want to donate, I would appreciate it. I will be as transparent as possible, as much as I possibly can be, with legal expenses and everything, with the lawyer, whatever I can. I will do the best I possibly can. But that's about it. That's it.
Yeah, also, what desecration? People talking, I mean, it's shitty. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's good. I honestly don't agree with it. But people talking about your brother's grave online is not desecrating their grave. It's just people making mean shithead comments on the internet.
So, thank you, everyone. It's been very difficult, honestly. It's just, it's continuous attacks all around, endless attacks of just people trying any way to smear me into the absolute dirt. It is exhausting. It is so exhausting, and I'm so done with it. And that is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm opening up a lawsuit. It just...
Oh, was it? Okay, fair enough. I'll retract that then if that's wrong. Okay, maybe I'm maybe that did happen. Maybe it was desecrated. Let's at least leave that open. So let's not be too conclusive about that. He did a video about it, I think. Yeah, they went and left some weird shit on the grave or something.
These people They have,
I think.
they have underestimated.
Let's just say it could be that his grave was desecrated and later he provided evidence, but it's not here. Maybe it happened later.
How petty I can be as well, because it's like, I want to get these people. I want to get these individuals that have continuously harmed my family and me. I do. I have had family just devastated by the stuff that has happened, and it is so cruel because it's like, I understand I'm a content creator and you might not always agree with me, but at the end of the day, we're all human, and it's just crazy the lack of humanity that some people have. It's crazy to me. I'll leave it at that, though. Thank you so much.
We're all human.
If you can donate, link is in the description. I would greatly appreciate it. My family would greatly appreciate it. But be safe. Stay healthy. Chibi out.
Okay, so that is the Chibi video going over his lawsuit. And then this is the GiveSendGo that he set up for this. Let's read through this and see what his reasoning is and how he's going to go about filing this lawsuit. And then we'll look at his recent response to the claims that he's not updated people and whatnot. Hello, this is ChibiReviews from YouTube and Twitter. I'm a content creator that has faced continuous online harassment and slander ever since October 5th, 2024, when I posted a clip from Dan saying the animators didn't need to go this hard. The harassment I received was threats against my life and family, on top of the continuous slander. So if you were receiving what you believe to be actionable threats, that's not something that's best dealt with in a civil suit. You should go to the police and get them to look at it. Because if people are genuinely doing extreme threats online to a level that meets a legal standard, then obviously the police might do something about that. But the problem with what he's shown is, I'm not a legal expert, obviously, but it doesn't seem like there's much substance to what's being said there. It just seems primarily to be trolls trying to fuck with you on the internet. So I'm going to go ahead and be skeptical about the idea that anything legally would come of that, even though it's shitty behavior, perhaps. Then all my information was doxed online by individuals that hate me for talking about anime and manga. While this was happening, they even got into my old DeviantArt account and started posting illegal content that got the FBI involved. I did a police report on the incident and threatened legal action. Now, on February 5th, 2025, the same people mass reported me to deplatform me from social media website known as Twitter. My account was taken offline for 20 hours and was corrected by Twitter support acknowledging my suspension was an error. Why is that relevant to this lawsuit? What possible grounds is there to include a fucking Twitter suspension in your lawsuit? Ridiculous. Like, what are you going to do? Fucking take someone to court for filing a false report to Twitter? I mean, it's just ridiculous. These sick people will not stop till everything I love is ruined and burned to the ground. So I'm making this donation campaign to seek justice against them and show it's not acceptable to treat people like this. The average cost of a defamation lawsuit is $15,000 to $25,000, depending on the lawyer and anything else that arises. So that's why the goal is at $25,000. To be honest, I hate asking for money because of my pride, but with all the damage these evil people have done, not just to me, but my entire family, I'll push aside my ego to ask for help from the community. Even if I can just get one individual, it will be enough to prove you can't get away with stuff like this. Doesn't know the identity of any of these people, by the way. Completely random Twitter users, as far as he's concerned. Any bit of donation helps, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Once again, I apologise for me asking for donations, but it's the only way I truly can seek justice against people like this. So there it is. Quite weak. I genuinely think this is a complete nonsense. You're in a hiding to nothing thing here. Dude, he's getting more support as well. Don't settle. Make sure they get the point. You need to know who they are first before you can worry about whether you're going to settle or not. What the fuck? Supporting the cause. Don't settle. Show my support. Supporting the cause. Yeah. A lot of these comments seem to repeat as well. Anyway, guys, there we go. Thank you for actually standing up to doxers. For far too long, people have only treated it as harassment, but it's so much worse than that. It's a crime. Not true. That's not true. Certain types of doxing in certain states could be considered a criminal act, but they need to have certain features. It's not a crime in and of itself. Protected by the First Amendment. Stupid comment. But obviously, I don't like doxing, to be clear. I don't agree with doxing. I'm just saying it's stupid to call it a crime. That's not really correct. And a death threat to you and your loved ones, it must be treated with the utmost severity. So anyway, guys, there's the video, there's the context, and then, of course, the recent post of people questioning updates, questioning why he hasn't said anything about this further, and seemingly has just fundraised all this money without meaningfully explaining anything from the looks of it. And that then brings us on to ChibiReviews' response to this drama. In fact, I think I've got one more video to show before we do that. Oh, so yes, I do. So this is the right. This is the original video that you released about being doxxed and talking about the legal stuff. This is important context too, so let's watch this.
Doxxed. My private information has been leaked online, my full name, where I live, pictures of my house, pictures of my dead brother's grave, and mocking my dead brother's grave on top of that. And then, on top of all of this, continuous amounts of death threats. This video is being used as a paper trail for I can show to my lawyer, also the court system, because I am going to be filing a lawsuit against the individuals that are responsible for doxing my private information. Now, as you can see on screen, I already have a few people that, is not necessarily going to be potentially in this lawsuit, but I do want to showcase the actions of what I've been going through throughout this entire ordeal in the last 48 hours or so, ever since the first episode of Dawn to Dawn came out, and I uploaded my video on it this past Wednesday. So as you can see here, this is one individual partaking in the mockery of my brother's death. We have an individual that is hoping that I basically get
so also originally saying that he's suing for doxing somehow. But then that changed to suing for defamation. Dude, it's like the fluidity of what this lawsuit is even about is absurd.
Him stomped in and my corpse is spit on. They went on to have a lot of likes. The post is still up, by the way, not been terminated or violated any Twitter rules or anything like that. We have people making false thumbnail images of me, trying to slander me, saying I made content like this, and then trying to say
the top 10. Well, I've seen this one as well. Top 10 most well animated SAC.
Yeah, I made a video on this when in reality I did not. Then we have a post like this where someone put a petition out to stone me to death. AKA, there was thousands of people that liked this post. This was an early on screenshot. Sadly, I didn't get a late stage screenshot, but the last time I saw the post's likes before it got removed thanks to violations of Twitter's terms and service, it had 12,000 likes. aka 12,000 people were wishing for my death. And so we escalate all this that's been happening for the last few days to the point to where my private information has been doxed, and now the threats or death threats that I have been receiving are all more real. Very, very much real when someone posts pictures of my house.
Okay. It could potentially be more real if they post your address or a picture of your house and say, I'm coming to get you at this time or something. Like, there's obviously specificity one can give in a death threat that lends itself to be more believable or realistic. So, is that happening? Or is it just someone's done the doxing house thing, which is terrible. I think that's terrible. And then other people are saying, I'm going to get you, I'm going to get you, I'm going to get you, I'm going to get you. Like, what is it linked or not? I think there needs to be a much more meaningful link for it to actually be a credible threat. And the problem is, he doesn't show any of it. He doesn't show anything. He just shows this and makes claims about certain aspects of it.
And my brother's grave. FYI, I don't like to talk about this much. I talked about it briefly a long time ago because Anime Snob, can't believe I mentioned that man's name again, he mocked my brother's death as well. They committed suicide. And obviously, I'm assuming this individual is probably from that rabid group from a long time ago. I could be wrong. We'll find out when the lawsuit gets underway. But the point of the matter is that I am a little bit concerned about my safety because obviously my girlfriend lives with me. I have 2 dogs that I love and a cat as well. Obviously, I'm concerned. I mean, definitely after having 10 plus thousand people wishing for my death, and literally you can go into any of my recent tweets and look at the quote retweets and seeing people actively justifying death threats against me, it's very clear that I do have some cause for concern. So thankfully, I live in Tennessee. I don't live in California or anything. I'm able to legally own a gun.
I remember.
I've owned this for a while, and I'm going to tell you right now, if anyone wants to pull in...
That wasn't me holding it. I'm not breaching the live stream policy on firearms, to be clear. Okay, YouTube, please don't fuck me for this.
Stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. That's all I'm going to say. What I will say now, going one step further, I'm going to end this video here for legal reasons as well, but I am going to be protecting myself. I am definitely someone that will be watching, and if, you know... Now, I got the evidence, I got screenshots, those that, you know, are involved in this, you will definitely be hearing from my lawyer. I'll leave it at that. Once again, this is the end of it, leaving this as a paper trail. Chibi.
You will definitely be hearing from my lawyer. And he's also originally, so this is the original video where he's filing for doxing, then changed to defamation, and apparently that could be linked to the fact that he had his full address in his YouTube video, so he couldn't really justify, not that it's easy to do a civil suit for doxing anyway, but how can you really justify taking someone to court for doxing when you've got your address in your fucking YouTube description? I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Okay, so, right, that's all the context we need now. We've gone a bit backwards with it, but we've got his original video talking about getting doxed and wanting to sue for doxing. The follow-up where he said he was getting death threats and he wanted to sue for defamation. And that's why he was going to sue there. And then he set up the GoFundMe, which we've also looked at. We then also got this post where they question this and say, where's the update? Well, good news, ladies and gentlemen. We're finally arriving at the update. So this is ChibiReviews' response. And I've had a little skim through this. And I must say, it looks like a banger. It does look like a banger. So let's see. Let's have a look. TLDR, posting this to remain transparent on everything to do with what's been going on. Breaking my silence on this after thinking about the best course of actions available.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Solomon Dudley.
This shit is going to go
True. Thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate that. Also, I need to set up another goal, which I'll do now. Totally forgot about that earlier. There we go, guys. We have another goal in place. Let's go. Let's go. Summary of events. October 5th, 2024. I started to receive harassment from Boruto and Dan fans over posting a manga panel and anime clip unaltered. October 6th, 2024. The users involved in this harassment against me took it a step further and contacted a doxing group to ruin my life. Which, to be fair, my name is forever in the mud now. The harassment from the users escalated into the eventual doxing of not just me, but of my family and brother's gravesite. Don't forget as well, he had his own address in his YouTube videos description originally, and then ended up changing it. And also, it's worth noting that there's no evidence of any of this shit. He's just saying stuff. But anyway, what is important for me is less so the timeline of what he's presenting and the inevitable cope that he's going to provide about why there's been no updates and no lawsuits filed. October 6th and 7th, 2024. My decade-old DeviantArt account that I never used was hacked into by the doxing group. I've posted well-documented photos of the situation and how someone that had access to the account started to post that content on the profile. Okay. I'm skeptical. Which eventually got the account suspended on October 7th, 2024 that I publicly posted about on that date. My other account is getting flooded with login requests that is causing me to get locked out of my account when I try changing the password. October 8th, 2024. I file a police report on the situation about everything going on and try to figure out who to contact. I contacted the Department of Homeland Security within my state to try and get in touch with the FBI. October 9th, 2024. I'm contacted by an agent from the FBI asking about my mail, and they are checking my incoming mail for any threats and contact my local police department to remain on standby to guard my residence. So, what has this got to do with anything in the lawsuit? This comes across to me like he's making an effort to generate and garner sympathy for himself by talking about like bad things that are happening to him, essentially. Like, yeah, this sounds like fucking rough to deal with if you're genuinely that bothered that you're apparently involving the FBI. But I don't really see how this relates to your lawsuit, and it just feels like, guys, things were really bad for me. Don't you see how bad they were? It was so terrible how I was being affected by this. As a sort of obfuscation to the fact that he's not updated or given any further insight into what's happened with this money that he's raised for his lawsuit. October 11th, 2024. FBI agent Brian contacts me again to send him everything I have on what happened and all my evidence. I promptly send everything I can. Brian says they will open an investigation and see what they can do on the matter. October 12th, 2024 to February 2025. I received non-stop harassment daily, either wishing death for the death of me, to my family being contacted, and even some family members cutting contact with me entirely thanks to the situation. Oh no. His family were not happy with the harassment they were receiving because of his retarded actions online. The harassment didn't just stop there. Many of them actively disrespected the grave of my brother. Sounds bad. November 2024. The harassers, doxers, managed to find out my phone number, and so I was forced to change the number I've had for years to stop the harassment. I mean, that does unfortunately happen to people. It sucks. It shouldn't be like that. But, I mean, you know, I don't know how the number got out there, but obviously that's fucked up. I don't think that's right. But it is just unfortunate that if someone gets hold of your number, yeah, you've got to change it. But again, I don't know what this has got to do with the lawsuit. What, are you going to take these fucking random person harassing your phone number to court? I mean, what the fuck are you on about here? Feb 6, 2025. My Twitter account got suspended by the same harassment group mass reporting me. Thousands of people celebrated my suspension and compared me to Hitler or Epstein. What relevance is this to anything? People talking shit about you on the internet. What has this got to do with your lawsuit or your apparent update that you're going to do? So stupid to include all of this. This was his proof that illegal stuff was posted on his account. Yeah, as I've said, I'm skeptical about this idea that he was hacked and people were posting stuff, you know, against him or without his knowledge. I mean, this sounds a bit silly to me, but... Many accounts I thought were my friends turned on me around this time. X quickly fixed this mistake and reinstated my account. Here we go. Now we're getting to the lawsuit stuff. Feb 11th, 2025. After a lot of counsel from other geek content creators, family and friends, I decided to open up a GiveSendGo account to fund the lawsuit against those that harmed me and my family after all these months. The goal was to raise over 20k to start a lawsuit. Upon my investigation, defamation cases can go around that to a minimum of 15k. I was told to keep quiet about anything related to the case I was building for I can have a successful lawsuit. Feb 15th, 2025. The GiveSendGo account reached 15k in donations to fund the lawsuit. Now, with a minimum from my understanding given, I was able to start looking around. Normally, because lawyers will give you a free consultation. I'm 99% sure you can get a free consultation with a lawyer, explain the details, and they will explain to you the possibility of a case moving forward, what they can do for you, how much it's going to cost, and so on. So, what this sounds like to me is that he thought, I'm going to file a lawsuit, didn't actually meaningfully investigate anything, and just set up a GoFundMe or GiveSendGo to start fundraising. Because I would presume that if you went and spoke to a lawyer about this, they would probably tell you there's not much scope of this going anywhere and that it's going to be very expensive. I would imagine. Because what has he got? He's got a few Twitter accounts posting deranged shit about him. Like, the lengths you need to go to surely get their identity to then be able to file a lawsuit. There's probably some lawyers that might give it a shot and might give it a go and might be willing to fucking give it a punt. I would imagine. Like, there's probably some lawyers that are a bit more flexible with what they might be willing to take on. I think what happened is he spoke to Legal Mindset. Legal Mindset said a bunch of shit to him. He went off of that. And then he actually went to go and start trying to talk to lawyers. And that's, I think, where he probably struggled, because I'd imagine that lawyers are probably not going to be particularly receptive to this sort of case. That's my assumption. That's my guess. I literally just looked it up. Not all lawyers do free consultations. No, of course. I'm not saying that every single lawyer will do a free consultation. What I'm saying is you could get a free consultation from a lawyer just to get a sort of test or an idea of how you could go with this. Right? And they'd be able to give you a guideline. And you should do that before you start the fundraiser, so you can make sure that you've got at least someone you can go to once you raise the funds. The GiveSendGo account reached 15k in donations to fund the lawsuit. Now, with the minimum from my understanding given, I was able to start looking around. On the same day, there were allegations spreading from my harassers that I abused my ex-girlfriend. Multiple articles were made about this, and some are still up to this day. They paint me in a light as a very abusive person. The source of this abuse allegation comes from my ex herself and showed proof of what actually happened within my video. My ex seemed to have been contacted by my harassers, doxers to slander me further. So, don't care about this. Don't know what relevance this is to anything. This again feels like, I'm getting more harassment and doxing and bad people saying things about me. This is about the lawsuit that you fundraised money for. What relevance is any of this to anything, dude? Here we go. This is this here. Feb to April 2025. I actively started talking with multiple lawyers to take my case, presenting them with all the evidence I have gathered since everything began. Upon seeking out lawyers, I ran into massive hurdles I was completely unaware of. Oh my God, I'm telling you, he didn't actually look into this properly. He didn't look into this properly. How are you unaware of these hurdles? You should have looked at this before you started fundraising, bro. First off, lawyer consultation fees can be as low as free or on upwards of $1,000 dependent on the lawyer. I lost count of how many lawyers I went to, but for many of them in my area, they needed a consultation before they'd even accept my case. Paying the consultation doesn't instantly guarantee the law firm would even accept my case to begin with. So, there's obviously ones that are going to be free. This is what I was saying earlier. And you'd obviously go to those ones to get a sense of whether or not they're going to take it. Okay? And I would presume that those would probably be more of your Better Call Saul types and stuff like that. Okay? And there's obviously going to be people that maybe want a small fee because they don't want to waste their time. And there's probably going to be other lawyers that are a bit more high-flying and deal with more, have got more ability to turn cases down. And they're going to want more money because they're going to want to charge for their time just to look at it. And it's bizarre to me that you've got no clue that this is the case before you even, you clearly have just done the fucking Ghost to GiveSendGo and then gone and looked at this. You could have easily checked this before. This should not be a barrier to you moving forward because you should already have known this before you even went and fucking set the GoFundMe up, the GiveSendGo up. Paying the fee doesn't guarantee, yeah. So thousands of dollars was spent just going around trying to find the right lawyer, which ate into the 15k donations. So he went and spent, what? That sounds like bullshit, dude. So you went and spent thousands of dollars trying to find a lawyer to take your case. You spent it all on lawyer shopping. I don't buy that for a second, dude. You would maybe do it with one person and then think, oh, that was a waste of money, at most. I don't believe that you spent thousands of dollars lawyer shopping. That sounds fucking bogus, dude. If that's the case, prove it. Show evidence of the invoices that you received from these lawyers paid to prove that you did this, or show your accounting to show that you sent the money for this. And then I'll believe it. And also show us your receipts for all the anime figurines that you received in that time as well. Anyway. This leads into where I started using my own money to pay for consultations to save what money I had from donations to actually pay a lawyer. I was embarrassed and ashamed to state I was still struggling to find a lawyer to take my case. Well, yes, I believe you probably were struggling because it's such a weak case. And also, the other problem too is if you're filing a defamation suit against some random Twitter user, how do you know they've got any money at the other end? You could file an expensive defamation suit against a Twitter user and they're like, at the end, turn out their pockets and go, I got no fucking money. So what are you hoping to obtain from taking that person to court? You need to take someone to court that's got the money to pay you at the other end. So lawyers are probably thinking it's a weak case as it is. And on top of that as well, the other party probably doesn't have any fucking money to pay you at the other end anyway. Fucking hell, dude. I was embarrassed and ashamed to state I was still struggling to find a lawyer to take my case, and consultation fees were adding up. Accompanied by the legal advice of not talking about things I'd use for my case, I remained silent, which caused stress to build. Oh my god, dude. Just a retard. Thank you for the super chat. This is a total disaster. Some of this is bullshit. There's some truth here, I'm sure. But the reality is you didn't do your research before filing the GoFundMe. And now you've just GiveSendGo. And now you've spent a bunch of money on fucking nonsense. Nothing. And you got nothing to show from it. Except probably a realization that your case is not particularly strong. And also, right? You should have sent updates about this. I don't give a fuck about how you were feeling about things. People have sent you money to support your endeavors to file a lawsuit. They are entitled to know this information, even if it's embarrassing for you. April 2025. I suddenly started experiencing a non-stop headache that would persist and never go away. My health took a turn and I went to the ER to figure out what is going on. I knew whatever it was wouldn't be good, especially since I'm uninsured. How are you uninsured as a YouTuber, bro? How much money does this guy make? You can't get a little insurance plan. Around this time, my harassers were still coming after me daily to ruin my life. Bro, then the mysterious headache comes into play. Right, okay, dude. Oh, all this scrutiny about that. Oh, all of a sudden got a terrible headache. I need to go to the doctors. April 26, 2025. I go to the hospital and they run all the tests to see what is going on. And apparently I have a pinched nerve that is causing the consistent headaches and pain. Doctors do what they can and give me what I need to recover. My fiancé and my dad had to step in to help me pay for hospital bills because of everything going on with me paying for consultation fees. Right. April to May 2025. I continue my search for lawyers and find out I have to go to my state capital to find a lawyer that I will need for my case. Defamation and cybersecurity cases are complex. Many lawyers in my area will not take cases like this because of the nature of them. Okay, that sounds like bullshit. I think what's happening is lawyers are telling you this is a complex case without much upside at the other end because you're trying to sue anonymous Twitter users. I don't think this is a case of going and finding a lawyer. I think this is a case of realizing you're on a hiding to nothing. You fundraise this money for a lawsuit that isn't going anywhere and you need to give up now. May 21st, 2025. One of my harassers gets visited by the FBI for open threats against my life. Okay. That's not related to the lawsuit, but sure. Interesting info. Ne'er-do-well, thank you for the kick sub. Appreciate it. Thank you. May 28th, 2025. I get contacted by an agent that another person has been investigated for the illegal kid content posted on my DeviantArt account. Judging by the response, it seems like the individual was a minor that did it. Okay. Again, unrelated to the lawsuit. May 2025. While still recovering from the headaches and pain, I start doing consultations again. This time I used the donation funds instead of money from my own pocket because I needed to pay my hospital bills from April 2025.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Dude.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Accounting and YouTube can make a new video now thanks to this guy.
Thank you for this super chat. Yeah, this is just a fucking insane cope on all ends from this guy. There is no fucking way that this dude is genuinely thinking anyone outside of his retarded nonce fan base is going to believe this. Yeah, the idea that you're getting constant updates about the FBI investigation as well. Okay, dude. So he basically does consultations, uses donation funds. He needs the money for himself, for his hospital bills, apparently. June into July 2025. I found a lawyer that did a consultation with me and offered to take my case. How fortunate. The lawyer told me I needed to pay a retainer fee to even begin. Yes, dude! Bro, yes, that is basic! That is basic shit! You have to pay them money to show willing and good that you've got money that they can work off of and use while they work on your case. He didn't even know about a retainer, bro. Oh my god, dude. For transparency's sake, the retainer fee the lawyer wanted was $5,000. That wasn't including the hourly rate from the lawyer. The lawyer told me I'd get billed monthly on top of that $5K. What research did he do that made him think it would be $25K? And then when he goes to actually do it, all of a sudden there's all this information that shows that that's not enough. And you need way more than that to file a case like this. The lawyer told me I'd be billed monthly on top of that $5K. The bill could range depending on how much time they invested into the case. But on average, he said it would cost about $2,200 a month. And a case like this could take a while, averaging up to anywhere from $20K or more, depending on how long it takes. Bro, this lawyer saw this guy as a total money pit, didn't he? He was looking at him like, yeah, I'll fucking take this guy's money. If it's even true, of course. Yeah, man, why don't you come on into the office and we'll sort it out. It's going to cost you, though, but we'll definitely be able to do something with this. He also stated the individuals I'd be subpoenaing for the information from X could take a while and might not even return results. Yes, exactly like I said, dude. You need to subpoena the information and you might not even get it. You might not even have the information released to you. Or they might not have provided information to Twitter to allow them to provide that information to you. However, they were confident from the evidence provided I can succeed. I bet they were. I told the lawyer to let me think on it and I'll get back to him after I make sure it's the right lawyer for the job. Because out of the $15K I received, I spent almost $3K of it for consultations. And the other consultations were out of my own pocket to save for the lawyer fees, leaving me with around $12K. Bro, that you can you not see? The $12K is gone within a few months. You got the retainer and then the monthly cost on top. That's gone. So how are you going to possibly take it beyond that? Jesus Christ, this guy, man. Basic information he should have established before he set it up that he didn't know, apparently. July 2025. I started having overwhelming pain in... Yes, dude! I started having overwhelming pain in my testicular region, where it was hard to walk. A large lump appeared in my groin region. Fearing the worst, I instantly thought it was cancer. Okay, dude. I went the very next day to ER to figure out what was going on. When I went that morning to the ER, they looked me over and told me I would need to see a urologist to do anything. They gave me medicine for the pain, but sent me on my way with a $3,000 bill I'd need to pay at a later date. I then proceeded, dude. So he had a health issue prior to this, right? Did he not think about setting up insurance there and then? Did he not think, oh, I've just had a bit of a health scare. I probably should set up insurance right now in order to make sure that I don't experience this again. But no, I guess not. He was happy to pay out of pocket once again for more medical shit. I then proceeded to look around for urologists. While this was going on, I went to another hospital in a bigger city and they gave me an ultrasound in my groin region to figure out what was going on. The ultrasound would be useful for my urologist when I find one. The doctor came to the conclusion there was a swelling or a cyst of some kind. He's given us all the deets. He's given us all the juicy deets. Why would you share this on the internet? Why would you share this? I left this hospital with another bill that I would have to pay soon. I told them I was in massive pain and they said I needed a specialist. So I contacted the urologist in my area and they told me they wouldn't be able to get to me in until August 31st, 2025. Finding that unacceptable, especially if it turns out to be cancer, I called someone in my state that is a urologist. They got me in the very same week. The doctor looked at my ultrasound and came to the conclusion it isn't cancer, but it could be a benign tumor or twisted testicular appendix. Yes, dude. We got to... Chibi, we got to turn you into a eunuch. It's the only way. The only way he could know for sure is if I had the surgery. So I did what any person in my situation would do, and I said, I'll do the surgery. I did not want to die at the age of 30 or experience this pain for the rest of my life. August 8th, 2025. I undergo surgery and the doctor concludes it was a cyst and twisted testicular appendix that was causing everything. I was told it would take upward of 7 weeks to fully recover. I had to pay $2,400 up front just to get the surgery, not including additional fees after. August 2025. X suddenly starts paying me upwards of $900 every few weeks for posting to social media. This came at a time I desperately needed it to pay my previous hospital bills along with my surgery bills. What about tax? You paying your tax, Chibi? What have the IRS got to say about all this? I've been recovering slowly where I can walk normally and drive normally. I still feel uncomfortable sitting for long periods, but that's normal, according to what my surgeon said. Now, we're in September 2025. I have an offer to continue the lawsuit with the remaining 12k, but to be completely blunt, I will 100% have to spend the money out of my own pocket to continue because of the monthly lawyer costing way over $2,000. Oh my god, dude, what a fiasco. What an absolute fiasco this guy's put himself in by filing an absolutely retarded lawsuit. Dude, cut your losses, Chibi. Cut your losses, refund what you can, and leave it at that, okay? Chud, whenever it brings his girlfriend, fiance, look at this picture. Does that shoulder look like it belongs to a woman? My prediction is dad went trans and now he's dating her. Oh my god, dude. Bro, what the fuck? Dude. He does look like he's in a lot of pain, or is that euphoria? It's difficult to say. $2,000 because the retainer fee being $5k, that will make the rest of the money from the donations to around $7k left. With the monthly cost, it will run out in about 4 months, give or take. I feel like it's definitely an option that will eventually make me find justice, but it will bleed me dry over time. So I ask you all, what do I do here? I can continue this and spend more money out of my pocket beyond the donation funds to seek justice, or I figure out another way. Cut your losses, refund the supporters, and draw a line under it. That's the best solution. This is a foolhardy endeavour in the first place. You've been burnt already. Surely now you must recognise that you're fucked and this is going nowhere. And you've got to just refund people. It is so outrageous that you're still thinking of continuing this. Because with the retainer fee being 5k, that'll make the rest of the money from the donations to be about 7k left. With the monthly cost, it runs out in about 4 months, give or take. Like, where is your self-analysis here? You genuinely think this is going to be done and dusted in 4 months? Come on, dude. I feel like it's definitely an option that they will eventually make me find justice, but it will bleed me dry over time. So I ask you all, what do I do here? I can continue this and spend more money out of pocket beyond the donation funds to seek justice, or I figure out another way. The reason I haven't talked about this more is because I was told to remain silent on legal matters. Right. Well, it's not that you have to... Okay. Remain silent doesn't mean don't say anything. You can obviously give updates on the status of your fucking lawsuit and the money people have provided you in order to file this. It seems far more likely to me that what's actually happened here is this guy has been ashamed to say anything because of how badly it's gone, as he said earlier, and now he's acting and hiding behind this. I've got to remain silent about this. No, you're ashamed that you've totally fucked this and totally fluffed this up, and you don't want to admit that to your followers. But I feel like the lack of transparency is a bad thing to those that donated. Yes, I understand talking about everything could damage the case, and I really don't want to do that. But I feel it's important to speak about this to everyone. I have the evidence. I have a lawyer that seems like something can be done. But what do you think I should do? I know many will be upset with me having barely any progress made, but it's been a ridiculous year, not just with the harassment and doxing, but health issues that arose for myself that were outside of my control. So I leave it up to you to decide. What is the... Dude. Oh my god. Dragon's Treasure, you fucking retard. Why are you supporting this guy? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. What are you doing? I like this guy. Why is he supporting this idiot? Does he not have enough money as it is? So I leave it up to you to all decide what my best options are. If you come to hate me, I understand, but felt it was important to state this for everyone to see. Anyways, I love you all and seriously thank you for the support. I cannot imagine reading this and thinking, I'm going to help get you more money. Obvious, filled with cope and bullshit and nonsense. Some truthful stuff probably mixed with some bullshit. Outrageous. Totally fucking outrageous. Fell for it again award. Fell for it again award. So there we go, guys. That is ChibiReviews' response to this. Dare I show the quote tweets? It's probably just people railing on him. I think. Hard to say. Hard to say. No, people are actually supporting him in the quote tweets. Very disappointing. Very sad. Very sad stuff. But there we go, guys. That is the update to the ChibiReviews lawsuit situation.